Well, good evening. I'm Nick Scull, Commissioner from Ward 1. Welcome to the November 27th, 2023 Parks and Recreation meeting. President is Pat Stacio, our Parks and Rec Director, Matt Canlin, our Township Manager, Cheryl Lockhart, Commissioner from Ward 7, Anthony Brucey, our Commissioner from Ward 4, and Sean Kilkenny, our solicitor. All right, got through that. I assume there are no announcements or presentations.
None.
All right. I ask for approval of the October 23rd minutes.
I'm good.
Yep, no comment.
Any public comment? All right.
There was one quick just spelling error that changes the meaning of something. On the first page, item 5A, last bullet point, it says donors who want to memorize something.
Oh, memorialize. Okay. Yeah, we can change that.
All right. Item number 5, acceptance and approval of the following monthly reports. Mr. Stacia, the Parks and Recreation report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Before you have our October Parks and Recreation report, I'll highlight a couple of items. In the administrative side, spent a lot of time at Farmstead Park in October, reviewing the work and the construction of the environmental improvements out there, verifying all the work that was submitted was done. The work is 99.9% complete at this point, and again, I invite you to go visit Farmstead Park. I'll be happy to walk you through all the improvements if you'd like. We did submit for reimbursements with our Fish and Wildlife grant that we got, National Fish and Wildlife Grant. And those reimbursements came in at the amount of about $295,000. They hold 15% until the project is completed and reviewed. We are processing the final payments for the work that was done. Once those checks are sent and cashed, we'll submit our reimbursement for DCNR for about $335,000. So we hope to have those funds in by probably the end of February. Looks great out there. We also are working on the carriage house out at Farmstead Park, and we've been reviewing and monitoring the progress of that. And we demolished the kitchen on the back of the farmstead, and we were out there reviewing that as well. And I've been in constant communication with Land and Water Conservation Fund over our $1.25 million grant for Woodlawn Park. That's a federal grant. There are a lot of hoops to jump through. So we are progressing through that. On the recreation side, just something I like to highlight this time of year, every year, is our Golden Age Club. We have several hundred members in our Golden Age Club, which is open to residents and non-residents age 55 and over. Kate and Jen take care of that program. A number of trips every year they attend. They have monthly meetings. They run special events and special activities. It's an outstanding organization and group, and if anyone's interested, call the Parks and Recreation Department and we can get you registered. We did hold our Pumpkins on Parade event out at Masons Mill Park. Again, very successful, and kudos to the recreation staff and all of the many, many volunteers and partnered organizations that we worked with. Also bringing Kate, mentoring Kate as the assistant director here. She's been out at Farmstead Park monitoring the progress. She's also been reviewing the grant applications and seeing that all of the paperwork necessary is moving forward with that. So she's getting up to speed in that area, and of course working with the Shade Tree Commission. And on the maintenance side, very pleased that we had an Eagle Scout come forward who wanted to assist us at our archery range at Masons Mill Park. Made some improvements, made the archery range even more safe for our residents. He has completed his work. The work was outstanding. He had a number of volunteers out there over a weekend, and they did some work. Hopefully when the project is complete and all his paperwork is, or the project is complete, when all his paperwork is signed, we can bring him in here and give him a thank you by the Board of Commissioners. We worked with EAC and Lynette to add a bird habitat and native plantings out at Pileggi Park. Took an area that was difficult to maintain. It was a wet area and couldn't get our mowers in there, and it was muddy. We, with Lynette's assistance and development, planted some natural grasses in there, some native plantings and some trees. And we used some of the money we got from the Pico Green Region Grant, which was designated for Fair Oaks Park, to put the plantings in. we reallocated those funds for this project. So 50% of this project will be paid through a grant.
And where is that at Pileggi Park?
Pileggi Park. So as you drive in, on the right are basketball courts, and on the other side of the basketball courts, you'll see this area. I think Lynette envisioned it a little bit smaller in the original, but after talking with her and having some funds available, we were able to expand it a little, and Lynette is working to get a sign completed talking about native plantings and bird habitat. So all of that, the work is done. We'll realize the results in the spring. The sign should be done any week now, and we'll get that installed as well.
Nice.
A great partnership, a continued partnership with the EAC. And also our maintenance crew attended a meeting with Pennypack Ecological Trust at Farmstead Park to review all of the plantings that occurred there over this past year, the best management practices, how we're going to maintain them, what we should and shouldn't do. While we all are aware of that information, it was positive reinforcement from Chris Mendel, and also our staff had some questions specific to certain types of plantings, and Chris was able to answer them for us. So that's my report. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
I just wanted to make a comment. You didn't mention in your report about, it wasn't a report, about Farmstead Park, and the fence is not completely down, but the fence around the building is up, and I guess the regular chain link fence is going to come down.
The regular chain link fence will come down. The split rail fence with support fencing backing it is installed.
Yeah.
Alan is waiting a little bit longer before we take that down because there's some work in the barn they want to do, and they still don't want any issues there. So when working with Alan, once that work is completed, we're going to take down the 8-foot high obtrusive
You're
fence.
wonderful, yeah.
So there is a lot of major work happening in parks in this community. And I've had a few people recently stop me on my front lawn and say, wow, there's a lot of work going on. Where's those money coming from? And I want to commend your team, administrative team, BOC, everybody who's been so diligent in hunting down ways to pay for this stuff. The park system here is incredible. I'm saying this because this is my last park thing, so I'm getting sappy about it. But you guys just do amazing work, and you do it to little or no additional cost to the taxpayers and the residents every year. So in the coming years, there are so many great things coming from Farmstead Park, Woodlawn Park, and all the existing ones that we have. It's great to watch, and I'm really happy that you guys do the work that you do. So
Thank you for the comments. I'll pass them along to the team and the maintenance staff. And yeah, over the last couple of years, we've gotten in excess of $2 million for these park improvements. Actually, it's much more than that, but.
we just talked about $500,000 for reimbursement for park maintenance, so it's incredible.
Thank you. I'll pass that along. Appreciate it.
And I would also add the ability, and include Matt Canlon, to work with the Pennypack Trust and other organizations to put grants together to have all this stuff happen. That's
Absolutely.
something that's been missing in the past. All right, now the library report.
Getting old. Sat too long. I'll try to be brief. I know it's late. Dave Hakes, 14 Fern Avenue, Ward 1. I am on the library board. I will be about to start my 6th and last year on the board. And I'm currently the finance committee chair. I know you guys should have gotten a copy of the November happenings in your packets, and the December library happenings were emailed. If all you guys have email lists, if you could blast that out to your folks, it'd be great, because you really like to let people know what's going on at the library. I just want to share a few of those things tonight with the commissioners and with the public. The most important thing for me, the Friends of the Upper Moreland Library are holding their 10th annual New Year's Eve fundraiser. This is a family-friendly early New Year's Eve party. It runs from 3:30 to 5:30. There's refreshments, trivia, there's games. They have kid-friendly dances, a balloon artist, and at the end of the event, they have a countdown at 5:30, so it's only for the young ones. After which we light up the whole library. So it's gotten dark, and then you can light up the library at the end of it. And it's a fun family event for those folks who don't want their kids to stay up until midnight. It's free to everybody. Anybody's willing to come. It's all ages. I did want to say that Freedom Credit Union is our premier sponsor again, but we are the Friends are still looking for sponsors. Those can be people, businesses, or organizations, and they're also looking for items that they can raffle off during the fundraiser portion of that evening. So I highly recommend them. It's a lot of fun. We used to get a good turnout every year. The library's popular adult winter reading program returns in January. Anybody can be a part of it. You have to read 5 books between January 1st and March 31st to be eligible to win some prizes. And the prizes are donated by the Friends of the Upper Moreland Free Public Library. The library is more than about books, and we have 2 new digital resources that I want to tell you about, starting in December. One is called Law Depot, and this provides an extensive library of customizable legal document templates, and that allows patrons to create a lot of legal documents that are related to their personal situations. The second is what's called Learn It Live, and patrons can attend ad-free live and recorded online classes on more than 200 topics, covering health, wellness, spirituality, career, personal development, and more. This is all free at the library.
Is it free legal help?
It's not free legal
Yeah, that
help.
sounds
They're
like
legal documents. I don't want any lawyers come over here saying you're trying to offer. No, we are not offering legal help. No, these are just, it's a database of legal documents.
So you go to the library and then you sign in and can get the documents
You can
there?
access the database, yes. It's from home, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you have a library card, you can go into your account and it'll be right there. 2 more things. One, the board is accepting applications for trustees for a 3-year term starting in 2024. We do need somebody. You do need to be an Upper Moreland Township resident, and you do need to be over 18. Other than that, you just need to be willing to support the mission of supporting the library. And lastly, we just went through the whole budgeting process with the township. And I want to thank Mr. Canlon and Mr. Scheibel. The process was very, very smooth. They supported us in what we were asking for, and we appreciate the commissioners and the townships continuing to support the library. And that concludes my report.
I want to say I just discovered Libby, which is where you can go online and you can find books, and also you can find books that are on Kindle, and you can borrow them from Kindle. Because I don't like to collect books, particularly because I have so many, and not all read. But you can go on Kindle, you can read the book, it goes back, you're good, and it's free. Any other questions? Well, thank you for your report. All right, Mr. Casey Stacy, you're going to tell us about the next item about extension of a memorandum of understanding.
Yes, I left on your dais the agenda summary. The one that was in your packet was not correct. The bridge work on Warminster Road, which was supposed to expire, I think, on October 31st. We have a memorandum of understanding with the contractor that's out there. They asked to extend it to December 31st, which we did. They're now asking it to extend it to April 30th of 2024. A couple comments. I asked when they anticipated the road will be open. They said the 2nd or 3rd week in January, they think the road will be open. However, they still have some sidewalk work to do and some utility work under the bridge, but they anticipate the road being open.
And that's per the general contractor?
Yes. The reason they're asking for an extension through April is they have to return the land to what it was before they started using our property. You may recall it's a storage area for all their equipment. So they want to return that to what it was prior to them coming. So they asked to be extended till April 30th. I will not guarantee that the road will be open mid-January. However, that's what I was told. They have been a good partner to our property and to the Parks and Recreation Department. They followed the letter of the memorandum of understanding without issue. I don't have any hesitation recommending that we move this forward for action.
Oh, what can we do?
So, yeah, so I have no problem, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying, you have to say yes.
Right. I have no problem with that. I am considerably upset about another extension to this Warmminster Road Bridge project. And in addition, they're not even PennDOT is not keeping us informed of this at all. So, I mean, I'm going to call them tomorrow. I hope other commissioners will. And wanted to know, do we have a certain contact person at PennDOT?
Yeah, Dave Elsier has a contact. I can get that to you if you'd like.
Okay. You know, it was supposed to be done in October. I know they've had problems with getting the utilities, I think, to do what they want to do, or what needs to be done so that they can do their work. But, I mean, other than that, I don't see a reason for weather delays and it's just very inconvenient for a lot of people. It's not an extra 5 minutes. When people have to drive through Hatboro and Byberry Road, it's a big deal. And PennDOT could at least keep us more updated on this. So that's all, but I'm fine with the extension.
Yeah,
Commission.
and to that point, like, this is a persistent being hogtied situation by PennDOT, right? Like, no matter the situation across our township, if they're involved, it's inevitable delays and it's inevitable lack of transparency on their part to keep us informed so we can keep others informed. You know, we're consistently in charge of delivering this crappy news to everyone
Right.
around here. And there's nothing we can do about it. So, I'll take that contact also. Thank you.
District 6.
Oh, yeah, Kevin, you can introduce us to the person, right?
I'm glad that there's still some attitude about PennDOT left on the board. Regarding the extension by Myers, I remember that during the trail planning with Montgomery County, there was some consideration about linking part of the trail right there.
The cross-county trail,
Right.
I do not believe it's going to be linked there, no.
Okay. Then never mind.
It was discussed as a possible,
Like that was an
Route.
access to Lake Happer under the bridge
yeah,
to where we were going to go across to the YMCA.
I think it's shown on the map as an add-on if the township was interested in moving that forward. It is not part of the cross-county, though.
Okay.
However, it's identified on their plan, I believe, so there might be some
So
ground
the
available.
reason to mention it was that I know that they have some stream bank stabilization work to do and also the restoration to the open space land that we have there. And I just thought that the equipment was there. If there was something that could be done just with the trail extension in the same property that they have to restore, it would be a win-win. But I'll leave that to you to see if there's any possibilities there. Thank you.
And we're working on the township's part of the sidewalk that started. I mean, I guess we should definitely be done our part by
Yeah,
the time we open the road.
I think with some of these kinds of projects, you just always assume they're going to be a couple months late.
Yeah, it's more than a couple months now.
Yeah, a couple minutes. Yeah, Freudian slip. No, so I mean, they said October. It's going to end up being January. I wish I could say I wasn't, that I was surprised, but it's kind of par for the course.
And they don't even keep us up to date.
Yeah,
It's a major road in our township.
yeah.
In that vein, I hadn't heard back from Anton Kuhner, our traffic consultant, about the light at Church and York Road. Traffic's backed up through the light, right? And the light's green, but because the train station gate is down. So the light goes red, no cars, the light goes green again.
I suspect I'll ask him, he was probably expecting to come to the December meeting. Since that's not going to happen, I'll ask him to put something in writing, some sort of email that we can send out to you, update, because he was going to look into that.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
So Dave Elser gave us an answer to that last
Yeah.
month. I mean, at the CDC meeting, that, that when they paved the road, they destroyed the loops that were in the blacktop, and that we've purchased a camera, but I don't know the camera's been installed yet. So that what happens then, if the camera doesn't detect anybody staging for the light, it won't change.
Well, but Anton said maybe that's not the problem, that it might be the device that we push the button to change the light.
I can double check with Anton and see if there's,
I know there was some discussion about it at the CDC meeting with Dave Elser.
yeah.
Maybe.
I remember
the meeting
that
before.
too.
Yeah.
Anyway. And if we did it, why don't we fix it? And it's, 25,000 people a day go down that road.
Yeah, I think David said,
Order the parts.
All right, I'll let it alone. All right, one more Parks and Rec item, Willow Grove Bears building replacement. Mr. Sasio.
The Willow Grove Bears in 2006 added a building out at Masons Mill Park in dead center field of the baseball field, which is near the end zone of the football field. And they use it for game day storage, flags, cones, other needs. And they also use it to provide some food service to the folks that visit the park, prepackaged food. That building is in disrepair. And the Willow Grove Bears, on several occasions over the past 15 years, have asked to add new buildings out at Masons Mill Park. Typically, they want a grand building at the 50-yard line, and the costs were just too high. They couldn't do it. Now they're asking to replace the current one-story shed-type building. I call it a building. It's really a shed, a garage shed. And they want to replace it with a two-story building, which you have before you. The original building, the one that's there now, is 14 by 26. The new building will be 16 by 28, so a little bit larger of a footprint, but it's 2 stories, not 1 story. The first story would be game storage and sell concessions out of that bottom level. The top level would be for sportscasting the game, an announcer's booth and a film area where they can film the game that they can later review the films. Did talk to codes, and this would be completely on the Willow Grove Bears cost. It's about $35,000 for the building, install the building, and to run electricity to it. Talk to Paul if they have to have an elevator. The answer is no, since it's an announcer's booth. They do not have to have an elevator. They do have to have stairs, obviously, go to the second floor that have to have a landing. So they came before the Parks and Rec Council. The Parks and Rec Council asked a number of questions. There was some great discussion. Ultimately, the council voted in favor of this 10-0 to present it to you folks, to permit the Bears to move forward with this building. The Bears do want water to this building. The council did not recommend that at this point. The Bears are interested in restrooms on the lower level of Masons Mill Park, as am I. But at this point, those recommendations are not being made. It's just the building, and the Bears understand that, and they would still like to move forward with just this building. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
I had several.
I'm just, is there grant money available for this?
They are going to be seeking grants. It's their cost. They've already started discussions with representatives to see if there's some funding that might be available.
So we mentioned that the existing concrete pad was going to remain. Do we know if that has proper foundations to support a 2-story unit?
Provided the Bears with the size and the depth of the concrete, and it's believed it does. I mean, I haven't run that through Paul. This building will also have to go to zoning because it exceeds the maximum height, so all of those details will be worked out.
Okay, yeah, because I'm concerned, one, the footprint is larger. It's 2 stories, and that slab, to do a slab for a shed is usually just a slab on grade. It's probably, I would assume it's not structurally sound first. And that would be additional cost on their part. It's noted as a prefab unit,
It's a prefabricated building, yeah.
like a pole barn or something?
I believe it's like and I don't know the terms, like a snap-together building that they bring in 2 sections and connect it.
So are toilet rooms options for that?
No.
How do they plan on doing that?
No, they want restrooms. They don't care how it happens.
Okay.
The restrooms are not part of this building.
Okay, it wouldn't be in this building.
Would not be in this building at all.
Running water to this building is not
They do want running water to this building so that they can have some sinks.
food distribution, or is it packaged items?
It's for, they need water services, to wash hands, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm curious about that too. Because
They bring their own water right now to every game that they, yeah, they bring all the water that they need for everything right now, yes. There's no water service out there.
Okay, and then it's basic selling of concessions. There's not like heating of hot dogs or any type of cooking or anything in there?
All of the sales that they do, they go through the county to meet the county requirements.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
It's mainly prepackaged items.
If your team in code enforcement is reviewing all of those issues that come along with the structural implications of this, the food service issue of this, and the health code issues of this, and you come to a satisfactory conclusion of what they're doing is acceptable by the book, I have no problem with this. But there's a lot of issues around those three things that I'm concerned about.
Absolutely. They have met, my understanding in talking with them, is all of the county requirements for the food service. So I don't have, at this point, I don't have any questions on that. I'll double check the concrete slab to see, to make sure that it can handle the weight for that. I think the size is large enough of the concrete slab. It's bigger than the footprint they're proposing this building on. But I will check into all those questions. Thank you.
Well, it doesn't require any action on our part at this point, does it?
The action would be to allow them to remove their building and put a new building up there. They'd have to gain permission from the Board of Commissioners to do that.
Do we have any ownership in that building?
We have no ownership in that building, no.
Okay, we have no ownership on this building.
That's correct. Now, other organizations have built buildings, soccer club, for instance, at Pileggi Park, and their agreement when they built it was they would turn it over to the township, and now we're responsible for all the maintenance in that building. I don't propose that we do that. I have no desire to maintain this. I have no need for the Parks and Rec. We don't have a need for this facility.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't want that to get put onto our backs, right? But at the same time, maybe we look into some kind of MOU with this group for a building like this, because for a building's, for a prefab shed to be installed in 2006 and be at a level of disrepair that needs to be replaced, regardless of additional program, that seems like there's a lack of attention and maintenance. And it would be a shame to have another $40,000 worth of work go down the tubes in such a short period of time. Safety hazards, it's 2 floors, there's a whole bunch more stuff going on there that I think we need to keep our eyes on.
Absolutely. We'll get something together with the solicitor. This does not have to be rushed through in December. If I can return this information to you in December, and we can move it for action in January, if that's satisfactory.
Sounds good to me. So we're down to, what are we down to? Jeez. Oh, we're canceling the December 18th meeting. Are there any visitor comments? Any commissioner comments?
Yeah, I just want to plug, it's tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 28th, 7:30 p.m. in the Township Council Room. It's a presentation put together by the Uppermoreland Historical Association called The Highlights from the Archives, being presented by Sue's lovely wife, Heather, who is the archivist for that group. Wealth of knowledge, great resources. Highly encourage those who are interested to partake.
All righty. And with that, we're adjourned.